of all, I'd like to thank all of you who have been contributing in the chat. And I also want to take a few minutes. We're going to field some questions. And Andrew's decided which questions that we're going to field for now. But rest assured, we're going to do this again on Friday as well. So if your question doesn't get asked because perhaps it was last Friday, maybe you'll get a chance to hear it or a similar question this coming Friday.
Yeah, we did get asked a few. We've been over a few questions before. I've put the link to the last call in the chat, so if anyone wants to look for that. So if I don't mention it now, it's probably been mentioned in the last call. So we have a few more questions for you, mate.
Let's have them.
Right. Again, it starts virtual cards, withdrawals, the type of questions. Any more news on the virtual card that was supposed to be out pretty soon? I hear.
Yeah. So the last I'd heard, and I'll tell you, it was the end of last week. Any day now, we're going to have a registration link in our back office that we'll click, and that will start the process of registering for both our virtual and our physical cards. So you'll be able to register for both of those right away. Obviously, the distribution of the virtual card comes faster because nothing needs to be shipped. I know that there will be limits on them in the short term, but remember also phase 2 is also a whole new branding that we have to look forward to. So probably new relationships with banks, et cetera. And I would believe that's why we'll see limits in the short term. And those will simply continue to go up and up and up over time as our relationships with those new service providers go up as well.
Yeah, great. We did touch on it a little bit. Was will there be fees regarding using the card?
Just standard fees. You know, all of those cards, any of those cards you have issued from whatever source. First of all, one of the things I'm yet to find out is, depending on who the issuing bank is, some banks that issue debit cards have a euro or a USD option. And it's nice to have the option because, for example, many of you live in Europe. That means you don't have to pay a transactional fee converting USD to whatever currency you want to pull out of an ATM, as an example. So we'll find out very soon for you if Europe USD are both options.
Yeah, that's great. We've got someone that said on the kickoff call, it was mentioned that the card will be able to support other members, so you'll be able to move it from one place to another, to another member. I think Oscar did mention it, but I think he was thinking further on down the line.
Here's I'm going to share a secret with you. One of the really cool things about the way they're rolling this out is the card is not only going to be an opportunity for, like, 85% of members in the platform. First of all, Edwin and Waskar both had a goal, an extremely lofty goal, which is for every single member using the platform to make money, every single member to be in the black. Which is, when you consider network marketing over the decades, 15, 20, maybe 30% of people ever earn enough to break even. Having every single member use a platform and be in profit is an undertaking. And so the card is going to facilitate the vast majority of members that are making hundreds or thousands of dollars being able to pull all that money out and put it in their jeans. But what I also like is that the card can be used as you're withdrawing from your existing earnings. When you're ready to lock your position into phase 2, there'll be a small cost for that. And you can use that same card to go ahead and lock that position in.
Yeah, that sounds good. It's exciting stuff going forward.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, these are big moves that are being made behind the scenes. We talk about liquidity providers. We talk about relationships with banks, some of the legal processes happening behind the scenes, licenses and stuff. This is all big stuff. It's a pain in the rear end waiting, a huge pain in the rear end. But eventually, when it all goes live, what it means is that all of you that are pulling an income out of CFX will be able to start to count on that as an income source for years to come, which I know is going to take a lot of pressure off a lot of people.
That's the exciting thing. I think that's what everyone wants, isn't it, moving forward? And then someone has asked, what's the current status with the withdrawals at the moment?
So unfortunately, I'm not involved in I'd love to be. I'd really love to be able to peek behind that curtain, but it's just above my pay grade, which is volunteer. So it's well above my pay grade.
They're still doing it manually anyway, aren't they? They're still doing the withdrawals manually.
Yeah. So what the guys have said is that they're doing manual withdrawals right now. I know that I just don't know the amount, but I know a very, very large amount of BTC was purchased. Because remember, the company doesn't hold in BTC. That would be madness. The company holds in fiat and it holds in stable. So BTC was purchased for a manual withdrawal process because the manual process is so slow compared to the software that the company was using. When BTC dropped a very significant amount, all the way down to in the 20s just recently, unfortunately, what they had purchased, they had to hold off from pumping out because they would just be losing 25% on their purchase. So one of two things happens. If the price stays low, they just make another purchase and they push that out. And then when the price rebounds back into the low 40s, high 30s, they can push out that old purchase.
Yeah, great. And someone's been asking two quick ones. One is there any news on the tickets for the big event in London? Will it be shown in the back office? Will you be able to order?
It will. Yeah, it will. And there'll be an official, obviously, not only an official brochure about the doc, the kind of things you can look forward to there, but also I suspect there'll be a full page where one can register and a map of the location of the event, so you can select a hotel nearby. I know some of that's circulating in groups right now, members picking locations, but I suspect there'll be lots of other opportunities for members to meet as groups. We'll do in addition to the event as well once we start to get that stuff rolled out. The good news, of course, is we've got a date set. The room is booked. So there'll be lots of notice for people to make their travel plans.
That's great. Just one last one, John, just a quick one. Regarding the cards, some people are saying in the chat, they live in certain countries and islands, and someone's in Bahamas, and they're all worried whether they can literally get the physical card, the actual card in their hands.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the physical card, any kind of limitations yet. I'm sure I'll get a little bit of information behind the scenes fairly soon. I don't think that there are limitations these days on the virtual cards. It'll be really easy to use.
Sure, it's available anywhere in it worldwide, I would have thought.
I think so. I mean, yeah, I mean, even like lots and lots of developing countries that I've been to all have those tap and go services now. They're becoming pretty common.
Yeah, someone was saying that, I can't remember what country they were in, but they were saying that they're worried that the card wouldn't get to them, but I'm sure you can arrange for it to be put in a deposit box or some kind of arrangement with it to make sure you receive.
And remember, the card is only one of your withdrawal solutions. As soon as that blockchain audit is finished, that gets turned back on, and you can just withdraw entirely in BTC if you want to.
Yeah. Someone just mentioned again KYC. That got mentioned on the last one. Obviously, there will be a KYC with all virtual or the actual cards. So
at some point, everyone will KYC, and the reason I know this for certain is because, of course, one of the reasons we're going through all of this extra work and extra cost is to increase our position as a regulated entity. So everyone will KYC, which is just going to be one of those steps and ensure the long-term future of the platform.
That's great, John. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone, for your patience. Thanks for taking time to be here. It's always appreciated. I hope you have an excellent week. And remember, when I see you next, I'll be back home in my home office.